And yeah, a lot of the shit people have been saying about it online about just like, you know, being the kind of music that plays over the loudspeaker at H&M, for the most part, that's really accurate. Yeah, this Drake record is not good. He isn't losing control over it. It's not impeding upon the enjoyment of the album. And hopefully he continues to keep it this well organized as we continue on to his next full-length album later this year. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8. So we have to paint this tape for what it is. It is subpar, which is why I'm feeling a light 3 to either dig deeper artistically, take more risks, or just address and get into more personal experiences as his life grows and changes and he matures, considering how well that has panned out here. Feeling a light to decent 7 on this one. So while I don't really care for this LP, I do have to give it to Tyler for being one of the few artists out there bold enough to simultaneously disappoint and impress so consistently. I'm feeling a strong 3 to a light 4. Overall, I think Igor is a fantastic album and is easily one of the best breakup albums of the decade, which is no small feat considering that we're literally right toward the end of this decade. I'm feeling a decent to a strong 9. Future songs where he goes in this direction are some of his worst tracks, some of his most boring tracks, and he's decided to come out with those kinds of songs for over an hour, which of course is going to make this his worst record. This is not good. It's not good. But the bop to flop ratio overall is still very good. And once again, I think Future and Metro are doing some of their best stuff together here. I mean, this is handily some of the hottest shit Future has been on since like the Monster era, which is why I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8. It's mind numbing just to listen to it. And I don't know, I don't think I'm ever really gonna try to make the effort to listen to this guy's music again. You know, not unless I hear a spare track or feature or something that somehow wows me and gets me curious again. But I think this is where my curiosity is going to end, right here on this self-titled project. But there is an especially intoxicating, catchy, and almost mind-altering quality to the simplicity of some of these tracks that I just can't get enough of. I'm feeling a light to decent 7 on this thing.
I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe a light to decent 3 on this tape. I'm just not really coming away from it with much, you know, other than I like a few beats on here. A few refrains are okay, but I just really dislike it.
But they still do get by just on pure energy alone on a lot of these cuts, as well as charisma and personality. Not to mention they're just on with some of these hooks. Feeling a strong 6 to a light 7, and somehow this surpassed it. And at least in my mind, has achieved the status of being Kanye's worst album. It's like the cosmos imploding and reality melting and the matrix glitching. And I'm also super impressed with how forward-thinking, difficult to pin down, and futuristic this album feels too. I am legit feeling a strong 9 to a 10. How did Travis lose his drive and his ability to put together a solidly built song within the span of a year? Maybe he's grown complacent. I'm just not really sure. I'm feeling a strong 2 to a light 3. The difference between what he's done over the past few years and what he did here is like night and day. And some of the changes that he's made to his style and his sound have been very minuscule on some of these songs, but they've made all the difference. I'm feeling a 8. I don't think this album is a total mess, and I think it's far from being worthless. And I wouldn't say the album has no meaning either. I think what the album means is very much up to the listener, I'll say again. And I don't think we've ever heard Kendrick's dark side like we have on this album right here before. But I have heard Kendrick release better projects than this. At least 3 of them, I would say. And that's pretty much what leads me to say that I'm feeling a decent to strong 7. I'm not trying to say every artist should try to make this record. I mean, you know, you only get so many Kendrick Lamars, so be happy with the ones that you get. But it's albums like this that people use as benchmarks in musical history. And it just happens to be fantastically enjoyable as well. I'm feeling a, come in, 10 on this record. Yeah. Sure, while some moments here might seem kind of experimental and A$AP Rocky is just kind of throwing everything in but the kitchen sink, there's not really a strong sense of direction overall on this record. Nor does this thing really feel like an example of A$AP Rocky doing what he does best. Or at least, I don't know, try to top himself or improve or I'm feeling a strong 4 to a light 5. I love most of the songs on this LP. It's mostly because of the beats on this album, though, you know, I don't take anything away from Rocky. He has chosen to work with such inventive producers for this release. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this. Enjoyed the hell out of it. But it just did not pan out. And considering how long this record is and how consistently unbearable a lot of it is, I just don't know what to say. I am genuinely feeling like a strong 0 on this record. It's like a strong 0 to a light 1. It's a strong 0 to a light 1. Certainly a show of growth past acid rap. It's not as immediate or as snappy or as poppy as acid rap, I will say that. And I certainly admire a lot of the risks and a lot of the reaching Chance had to do in order to make some of the huge songs on this record happen. I'm feeling a light 7. I will say though, I did enjoy the first EP much more than the second. Just less cuts on the second that I thought were good, and just a more generally laid back feel that didn't hold my attention quite as much. Averaging these two EPs together, I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7. The songs are great, production great, rapping, lyricism great, and as a result I'm feeling a decent to strong 8 on this thing. But yeah, overall, bleh, bleh, bleh. This Gunna album is not good. Yeah, I had a good sleep. I'm feeling pretty decent too. Is actually kind of fitting for this album to end with the sound of a toilet flushing. Yeah, this thing is awful. Light 2. While a lot of the hooks are sort of sour and the beats for the most part are passable, there are some interesting ones on here with some pretty obvious popular music samples, but still they bring this album character, they do bring diversity. All of that said, I really am digging this LP. I'm feeling a light to decent 7. I mean, I guess I can't really be surprised considering how little time has passed between the release of Summer Nights and Peep. It's just that that's really sort of keeping me from being incredibly excited over Summer Nights because a lot of it doesn't feel incredibly new. I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7. This album has so many great things going for it. It makes me so happy to see an artist who I thought had big things going for him or big things destined for him when I heard some of his early mixtapes, to sort of see that confirmed now with this new album over here. And I'm feeling a strong 8 on this record. There are tracks where Bun B and Tech Nine and Andre 3000 and Nas and Busta Rhymes show up to throw verses out, but who cares? Though I like their contributions, it's not like these guys are actually saving the album. So I'm feeling a light to decent 3. The whole thing is really too inconsistent to be enjoyed from front to back, and the best moments of this album leave a diminished impression because they're surrounded by so many tracks that are just okay. I'm feeling a decent 2 strong 6. What's going on this album is very kind of current. It's very now. It's very hip. The whole jazz rap thing and neo-soul thing is very popular at the moment. I just kind of question whether or not Mac Miller really did his homework and did this sound, did this style any justice. I'm feeling a decent to strong 4 on this project. From the production to the melodies to the songwriting and the performances, the way they're presented, and the lyrical focus as well. There are a lot of things to love about this LP. I'm feeling a light to decent 8 on this one.